Thanks so much for joining us here on the Monsters in the Morning on Comcast SportsNet. Dan Jiggetts here alongside my partner Mike North, and it's time to bring in the publisher of the Bear Report back for his weekly.
Here he is!
John Crist. How you doing, John?
Hello, John.
I'm feeling exactly like the Bears should right now. I'm patting myself in the back for capitalizing on opportunities, but not getting ahead of myself because I'm feeling very fortunate as well.
Hey, you know what? You mentioned that show last week, Joe Buck Live or whatever.
Right.
And,
That was a great show.
Yeah, you know,
he's okay as an interview, but the guests are fantastic.
You had Namath,
Elway,
Marino. And
no Artie Lang this time?
Huh?
No Artie Lang?
No,
but Artie Lang was on at the beginning. When they filmed it, they showed him walking towards Joe Buck, and Joe Buck ran down the street.
No surprise.
Yeah.
So they were talking about the greatest quarterbacks and what makes up, constitutes the greatest quarterbacks, and they all ended up talking about Joe Montana.
Yeah, absolutely.
They may have forgotten about Brett Favre and all of his comebacks too, but that's not to say.
No, but they didn't forget about the 4 Super Bowls.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't be in that conversation.
Oh, Brett's in the phone.
They talked about how you come back, and I'm wondering now as we've seen Jay Cutler a couple of times make some comebacks. Mm-hmm. Are you feeling a little bit more comfortable with him now as a legit
against teams? Of course I am, but I'm also feeling a little uneasy about some turnovers. But he overcame those. As long as you overcome your mistakes, like he did yesterday, John, and get the job done. I think it's all good. I think the revelation here is that Devin Hester's got better hands than probably anybody thought, including Miami back in the day when he played for them.
Yeah, I think that you're seeing this is the price of admission on the Jay Cutler because he's not the kind of guy who's going to take super great care of the football because he does take some chances downfield. He's going to throw some picks. The fumble, not really his fault yesterday, but it does happen. But this is the difference between having a great quarterback and not having a great quarterback because the separation of talent in this league is so razor thin.
Yes,
the difference between being pretty good and not so good in this league very often comes down to a couple of plays and it comes down to one position. More often than not, it's the quarterback position. Jay was able to overcome his mistakes yesterday and look at the final line. 21 out of 27, very efficient.
126
3 touchdown passes. He made a touchdown pass to Greg Olsen on 4th down on a do-or-die play, and he hits Hester on the slant route, something that Devin thought he saw and wanted the ball, and that's the game.
He must have had tremendous faith in Olsen on that pattern in the end zone. Because when he turned around, he was already getting blasted. He threw that ball. If there's a player closer, that could have been a pick because it looked like he just said, I know he's going to be there, and hopefully he'll beat his man.
Well, a lot of times this design, and Jim was talking about, you talk about the touchdown pass.
The touchdown pass, right.
Jim Miller was saying yesterday how when you run a naked bootleg, and you know that this guy's unblocked out on the edge,
right?
So you get depth, and that the further you get back, the more the play develops. And that tight end's going to be open.
Yeah.
That guy,
But how many 92-yarders or interceptions have we seen in end zones over the years? So I was very happy to see that Olsen was more because he did get blasted, and that's something that they're going to have to look at in film. He shouldn't be getting blasted like that on a play action.
The Corey Redding play.
Which one was?
When he tipped the ball.
That was the fumble.
Right. Yeah, but who was blocking him? Was it Greg Olsen that was blocking Corey
Redding? I think
Redding?
it was Pace Danny. I think Olsen was Brett. I'm not sure.
Because Olsen ends up in
the
back in the picture.
He's got to have the feel. Jay's got the feel. He's got to be, because Jay was holding the ball.
Right.
I don't think he held it.
Sometimes when a defender comes in flat, that's when it was surprising.
Hey, we won, man. That's all.
That's true. They did not play well. They were down 13-0.
60 yards. No. He ran the ball. They kept him busy.
Right. What matters is they're 2-1 right now, and they came out really, really flat. They did not play well, but Seattle made some mistakes. It obviously showed Seattle was outmanned, backup quarterback, losing all kinds of guys on defense. They probably could have been up about 20-0 in this game, but it didn't happen. They had to settle for some field goals. They missed some field goals. The Bears caught their stride in the second half. And again, the quarterback position was the difference in the end.
And then let's keep in mind, too, Seattle had some major adjustments along their offensive line. So that, was another issue that they were dealing with. I was surprised that they were in the ball.
Well, we also, I was surprised, too, and that's a concern for the Bears. And a guy like Nate Burleson should be getting off like he's Jerry Rice. He's a good receiver. Reminds me of Marcus Robinson back in the day.
He couldn't play against the Bears when he was with the ball.
No.
They kind of owned him.
No, but yesterday he was running.
Yeah, he was.
He was like a Pro Bowler.
He was
not
doing
a bad receiver.
He was doing well.
Yeah, and you know what? But hey, you know what? They get paid too. The Bears won the game. They're 2-1. We got no complaints except there's a Minnesota Viking team that's doing much better with this guy than I thought.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, it is.
I was screaming from the mountaintops just like everybody else that the Vikings were going to be just fine with no Brett Favre because I really thought the circus was going to distract this team.
And they still might be without Brett, but he's been surprised.
It still may happen. It still may happen.
He could, and goodness knows, you look at the trend, and his trend is to survive.
Right.
And if he gets, he'll be somewhere close to 300 consecutive starts. Regular season starts by the end of this.
Well, he's
season.
going to be playing indoors this year, which is a big difference
It
from what
protects
happened last
his
year
body physically,
with the Swan
sure.
song and everything
He
else.
still gets knocked around a lot.
Of course
You
he
watched him in
He always
yesterday's
has.
game because he takes some chances.
Yeah, but like John Elway said, with the new rules, and yesterday there were a couple more embarrassing, roughing the passer penalties. Just sad. I think that the NFL's got to sit down, maybe sooner, better than later. It's atrocious.
Happen.
It's a contact sport. It's not going to happen. But John Elway says basically there'll be quarterbacks, good ones, playing until they're in their 40s if they keep calling.
They can. I mean, you're right. It's embarrassing. Just put a red jersey on these guys. Put flags around their waist. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Some of these unsportsmanlike and some of these penalties on the
it's supposed to be the game of football.
You're seeing them ease up off it a little bit because Jay Cutler got hit a couple of times yesterday, and he was over there screaming to the officials, "Hey, forget about it."
He does that as much as anybody.
That play, I know it's played. That play, he's doing also. He was hit simultaneously when he threw the ball.
Terrible.
And the officials were like, "Hey,
terrible call.
Play some ball, play some ball."
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Cutler in the second half, he's got a quarterback rating of 119. In the fourth quarter, 72% of his passes complete.
Yeah, my only concern is, are the two teams that we've beaten. Now, everybody's going to say, well, you beat Pittsburgh. Well, Cincinnati beat them yesterday. They came down the field in the last second. Carson Palmer told everybody why he's a franchise quarterback yesterday.
Cincinnati's a fluke play away from being 3-0 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what? And Seattle, of course, missing 13 guys. Doesn't matter. They got to show up. And our kicker is the best kicker in the game.
Hey,
he almost made that 53.
On that play, we'll take another look at it. That tip play we're talking about, it was Olsen that was blocking him.
Right.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So every now and then they leave that tight end.
Every now and then, but look, Greg Olsen is not a conventional tight end.
He's not a blocking tight end.
He has to do that every now and then, but he's not going to be an end of the line of scrimmage blocking type tackle. Just ask him to do the things.
I just like to see him getting the guy's way a little bit and maybe release out because I would rather see him in a pattern.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's not doing you much good there.
No. Time for a break here on the Monsters in the Morning. Jen gets us caught up with weather and traffic, and then it's back to more conversation with John Crist of the Bear Report.